Um, well, I think this next question kind of touches upon some of your observations. Many in the community are somewhat disappointed with the current Don, Ron, and John voting bloc. Describe some of your experiences and perhaps frustrations with this group.
Well, I do, I do it down. No, first of all, Ron, Don, and John are good friends of mine. In fact, Ron and Don were my appointees to the planning commission. Okay, see, so I felt that they were, good people to be on the planning commission. They were, and of course that was a base for them to run on the city council. I do have to admit that I'm a little disappointed, maybe a lot disappointed. And it's not to demean them, because I like them, both, the three of them personally. But again, I'll just pick one obvious example. I believe that the fire, recent fire decision to accept the last minute reorganization that the city manager brought forward. I believe that was a done deal from day one. That there was, and those of you that observed the meeting, I think it was obvious that we did not have a really strong discussion on the issue, where we really sat down and compared OCFA, that's just, say their option 3, which is okay, and the city's reorganization. We didn't compare that apples to apples. Let's look at the same element for both of them. And if we would have went down the list, I think the people would have seen, say what my colleagues feel that we studied it enough, and we have. I probably spent, I'll bet you, well over 100 hours. I've met with, the fire association, the fire chief, and other staff members. Done all that reading. We've been doing this for 6 months, and the city kept moving their target. They kept changing and changing and changing. OCFA's proposal just was the same. Okay, and so we felt, my colleagues felt that, hey, we understand this, so we can vote on it. We got it all done. But see, what the problem was, the people didn't see it. We needed, on this issue, we needed to put it out publicly, debate the issue so the public could see it, and then make a decision, whether it be the decision that was made, or to then consider putting OCFA on the table for a vote. We never did vote on OCFA. Everybody say I voted for it. I really didn't vote for it. I voted against the city one, No, but that's a little technical, because if we would have compared them, OCFA was superior, I think, but we never discussed it, and without being that, having the public, and that's the mistake, and that's why really the prime reason I voted no was the public needs to see all sides of the issue. Now, maybe we can't do it on every little thing on the consent calendar, but we can do it on something as important as this fire decision.
Great. Thank you. Neighboring cities such as La Habra, Fullerton, and Placentia have all cut salaries. What steps might you take, or how would you maintain fiscal responsibility in budget?
Okay, well, we haven't given a raise, salaries have been frozen. So we haven't really cut salaries, but since, but if we haven't given any raises, that's like not getting, that's almost like cutting salaries, You're still working at the 2 years ago, there's no cost of living there. I would certainly maintain the salary freeze until we come out of this economy. But there are things that we can look at, and especially at the executive level. It doesn't do a lot of good to reduce somebody's salary by 5%. That's making $12 an hour. What does that add up to? And these are the people that are struggling the most. So that doesn't make a lot of sense. But executives, your infamous 52 name list, you know, they're not all executives, but you know, there's a lot of money being spent. From the time I've been on the city council, I voted for the city manager's raise maybe one time. I really don't know exactly, it might be two, I didn't go back and research it, but most of the times I reject it, and I reject it not because I thought Tim was doing a poor job, because I think basically he's not a, you know, in most ways he's not, you know, he's a good city manager. He might have his mind made up and he doesn't listen all the time because he wants his way, you know. I don't know how you break him with that, you know. Electric prod or something, you know, but
I'll buy it.
but we use this 10 city survey where we got 10 cities in our, that, you know, in the survey that we use. And in those 10 cities are cities like Anaheim, and Irvine, and Santa Ana, and Costa Mesa, and Fullerton. Tustin's a little closer to our size. And then we picked some outsiders, Culver City and Whittier and Rancho Cucamonga. They just been there because they're in other counties, you know, they picked some cities, you know. Rancho Cucamonga is over 100,000, you know, people. If you go in and look, Whittier's a little closer to us. And Irvine's much bigger, you know, Irvine's over 300,000 now, I think. But Brea is 40,000 people, okay? And not only are we 40,000 people, we have something like 350 employees maybe. We have, 11 square miles. Our budget is $82 million, our general fund budget. These other cities, you know, they have like 3,500, you know, Anaheim might have 3,500 employees, you know, 50 square miles. Their budgets are 250, $300 million. You know, Brea is small, okay, and still we pay our executives based on that, you know, at a median of those areas. So this is one of the areas I think you know, we should reevaluate that survey, not so much for the lower, maybe for executive, just go to a whole new system all the time.
I appreciate that, because you actually stepped on my next question, but that's, you're being,
Well, save some time,
following
because
ahead
I
of the
talked a
game.
long time on that.
There you go. Well, one of the things we were talking about was the cutting of salaries and the freezes. I believe it's my understanding that not too long ago, we just had a reorg. And in addition, I believe the city manager had 2 salary increases perhaps in 2008, or do we recall that? So that's,
I do recall.
that's a few years ago. And well, I guess the question might be is that would you believe that the salary or the position freeze that we have right now is actually hurting the Brea residents, because the people who actually do the work are the ones that are losing by attrition, and the people who are making the 50 high salaries are the ones that are staying?
That's not totally correct, because we have a maintenance supervisor that retired, Bill Higgins, did an excellent job. He retired, and we did not replace him. We also had an assistant city manager, which retired, and we did replace the assistant city manager. We have a personnel, human relations manager who is retiring. You know, he's still here, but I think December, I heard that date, December, Mr. Gordon Young is retiring, and we're not replacing him. What our city manager does is reorganize, keeping the same executives, but giving them more work. Bill Gallardo's taken over IT, and you know, and they call him the administrative, instead of the financial manager, he's the administrative director. Charlie View is now the public works director, and no, I can't remember the other one. Yeah. But
Satisfied? Thank you. The question that you've already answered was, what is your position on the 10 city survey? But the follow-on question, I think you've partially answered, which is what are the repercussions? Or you may wish to elaborate on this. What repercussions would you say arise from the survey, and what changes might you propose to the use of the 10-city salary for executive pay?
Well, if we wanted to continue, for some reason we're into this, what do we compare ourselves to? And a survey is one of those ways we can do that. First of all, I'm not so sure we need to even have a survey. Maybe we should just say, here's what a fair wage would be for every category. And once we establish that, then we say we were willing to up that every year with inflation, the cost of living, and there should be some growth in there for people who do go beyond and above, the call of duty, so to speak. There are always people that excel, and there's always people on your staff that don't. They're just there every day, or maybe they're not there half the time because there's a high absentee rate. But they're borderline. When I was working, I had what I call it deadwood. But I had them. They've been with the company for 20 years. But when we went through layoffs, they went first. I didn't answer that. Right.
Well, I think you're suggesting an alternative to the county city survey.
Yes, yes, yeah. And if we do a new survey, there should be cities that are more comparable to Brea. I tried to do that, and I didn't get, but I only got about a third of the data I needed from staff, so it really invalidated everything.
No, you're doing